Alright, that's enough of this dadgum tomfoolery. We gotta get busy out here. We're running out of time. Who's ready to go see what kind of mischief we can get into today? Welcome back, everybody. It is old Big Mike and Ike.
Hello, everyone.
And we are back out here in the Hoopty Barn with our Project 2025. And we have got to get this dadgum motor set. We are quickly running out of time. Not just running out of time for no names, but we're running out of time for my help over here too, because he's headed off to basic training here in a little bit. And he ain't going to be around to help me out here. So while I got all this heavy lifting, I better get busy. I might be able to do some of the detail stuff by myself, but I like a little bit of help with the heavy lifting. So anyway, where we were last time, as I recall, is we got our motor mounts there, and I got them built and put on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get me a soapstone. I'm going to make a mark right there. Same on the other side. And we're going to figure out how to get some support under those, because right now they're just kind of hanging out in space. And I don't think that's going to work. So anyway, we're going to put some support under there, and then we're going to get this thing attached. And then we're going to have to figure out this whole transmission situation. I'm probably going to have to take the wheel wrench to these rivets here, because these mounts are put on with rivets. These ain't bolted in, they're riveted in. And so I'm probably just going to have to cut those off so that I can get it lined up with the tail shaft of this transmission, because we've got to have our cross member here underneath there to carry that tail shaft. So these are going to have to come back to over here so that they're in line with that. So alright, I'm going to get busy, get some marks made, and we'll get on this dude. Alright, so there's my marks. Not as far on that side because this thing's obviously offset. And I'm going to transform these pieces of square tubing into something to set there. Well, how am I going to do that? Well, magic, I guess. I don't know. Figure I'll get it up inside there. Something like that right there. And then I'll cut it and bend it and twist it and pull it and bop it and all that stuff, and eventually we'll make it fit. So I'm not going to put all of it on camera because that'd be a long video. So anyway, I'm going to get the marking and cutting, and here we go. Alright, cut number one right here. Take this corner out. Yeah, right there. Getting closer. Alright, my next series of cuts. Here. Here. Why? Well, I'm going to get her tucked up in there. We're going to see how that's going to work. And this is actually going to have to come off of here. Actually, I got to make one more. I got to make one flush across here. So I guess I need to go ahead and mark that one. Then I'll cut. Well, look at there. Right now, it's up in there. There, good and tight. Once I get her locked in, she's right there in line with that. Once I get her locked in there, I'm going to make her permanent. First, I'll make it semi-permanent. Then we'll put a hole here so that when we put our motor mount against it, it'll have a bolt hole. We'll put a bolt hole in that too. Be able to run a nut and a bolt right up through the inside, up underneath here, into that, and then we'll be able to bolt this sucker in. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this one cut for the other side, right there, and then we'll make them Kaiser Permanente, if y'all know what that means. Alright, well here's my next little road map of cuts. Heck yeah, what in the world? Yeah, it's a bunch of silliness. Alright, so here we are. There's that one right there. So now I clean it up and get that ready to make permanent too. So there it is. It's still hot, believe it or don't. All right, so for those of you who've been with me for a while, I've told you I am not a welder. I own a welder ish, but I'm not actually a welder. But we laid down some weld in there and got our pieces put on, and I figure a good grinding job make even a bad weld look better. So I'm going to grind them down. I'm going to shoot some black on them, and that's going to be what they are. So onward. Okay, so we got our holes in our stands. We believe we have everything lined up correctly with our mounts and our holes. So next thing is just, I guess we got to try it and see for ourselves if it's right. So let's see if we can get this thing back in here and lock it down. Okay, so we have voltage. We are bolted in, and the motor is mounted. We're a little bit offset from where we wanted to be. We got a couple shims in there, but the bolt is through that, so it's all the way through that. So it's not like it's, you know, just barely hanging in there. And I'll probably put a little weld on that little booger right there just to make sure that it doesn't go nowhere. I'll put a weld on that shim right up inside of there. So anyway, she is up in there like swimwear, and we got the weight off of her for now. Just got the tail shaft supported. It's a milestone, by golly. Got a little bit of clearance on our oil, and yeah, we're getting somewhere. So next is going to be moving this whole tail shaft support back for the transmission so we can support that. And what do you think, bud? Making progress? A little bit. All right. So there it is for the day. And I know it ain't a lot, but it's a long day. There's a lot of moving and cutting and figuring and all that stuff, and welding and grinding and drilling. And so do me a favor, if you ain't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Say, you big dumb hillbilly, there ain't no way you're going to get that thing ready in time. Well, it's probably going to be tight, but we're going to keep hammering on it, as old Russell from Outfits Garage would say. Just keep hammering. And till next time, y'all keep watching, and we're going to keep working.